Hey everyone, Cindy here. Hope everyone's having an amazing Wednesday. Welcome to our Summer of Love series. I wanted to jump right in. I apologize for the few minute delay. I'm working on getting Instagram and Facebook here together. I like how my hair is sticking out on one side. So I know you guys can forgive me for that. So I want to know if you guys are live or you're listening here to the replay today. So let me know. Hi, Helene. It's nice to see you. And I'm going to dive into something that's really important. So I get this all the time from women about, how do I attract a high quality man um, that desires to commit, right? That's the key. And really, just so you know, most high quality men do want a committed relationship just like you do. They deal with just as many frustrations and aggravations out there when they're in search for their partners. And if there's any men on here, if you want to weigh into that, please feel free to do so. I know. Hey, Dan, good to see you on here. So I, the title of this topic is The One Thing That He Wants from You. So what that one thing is, well, first I'm going to preface it with a story, okay? But I am going to tell you what that is. And it's simple, yet it can become complex because of us as human beings. We wear these masks around, and sometimes we can project our feelings, or we can start to see we as just human beings on the planet walking around because of other hurts, things that have just gone on in our lives. Not only do we have these masks on, but we can tend to create stories about people that may or may not be the case, right? So I've been speaking into this lately, and this is really important to understand and come from a place of compassion when you're seeking a heartfelt, really deep connection with a partner. And who doesn't really want that, right? And I'm going to talk over the next few days, if this would be helpful for you, about some of, historically and what's gone on generationally as to why we're having so many disconnects when it comes to relationships. Because one, as many of you know, the divorce level is on well, it's not necessarily on the rise, but the thing is there are fewer and fewer people actually getting married because many people are afraid of what can happen in marriage, that it doesn't work out. I mean, there's all these thoughts and beliefs, right? And yet there are many people that really long to share that sort of commitment. So that being said, I know this woman that's been doing her work. In fact, hey, Julie. In fact, I've known her for, a long time, and I've coached her a bit. And she recently decided to end a relationship, which was really painful for her because she really loved this man who's been there. I have. And I know you've been there too, Julie. And but she made a decision that was within her power. And what she did, and this is the one thing that men want from you, that they don't necessarily tell you, that they don't, it's really bubbling underneath the surface for them. What they want from you is your heart, your whole heart in vulnerability. And there's a lot of talk about vulnerability out there. And I think a lot of times we don't even have a clue how to be vulnerable anymore. Julie, you're really good at that. And how to really be in our heart space, because why? There's fear around that. We need to put our armor on so that we don't get hurt. But stay in tune to the story. So she was having this conversation with her guy, and she was noticing that they have a really great connection, but there was one thing missing. A really deep connection to partnership. Have you ever been there where you were dating someone and there were a lot of things that were great, but there was something missing in the friendship. Like, I've got your back, you've got my back. And, please feel free to, post your comments, post your questions. I answer them all because I want to hear from you, right? So she had expressed to him, I just adore you, and I love you so much, and there's so many great things here, and I feel like there's this wall between us, right? There's just something that we can't quite get there. And she's a very deep, loving individual. And he said to her, he goes, I had a feeling you were going to bring this up, and I've given this some thought, but I was in a relationship before you, and it literally tore my soul apart. It broke my heart. She just broke my heart in a million pieces. And if anybody's been in heartbreak, I'd love to hear it. Just put a thumbs up. If you haven't, put a thumbs down. But if you've ever experienced heartbreak, it's brutal. It's devastating. And, these are expectations or, things that didn't actually materialize, right? And a relationship that didn't as you'd hoped. So he said to her, he goes, I experienced this heartbreak, and I can't imagine ever going through that heartbreak again. I can't imagine putting my whole heart in. I adore you. I don't think I can go there. And so he just stopped and he said, well, where do we go from here? What do we do now? And many men will do that when, there's nothing really wrong, but there's something that isn't going to the next level. And she said, I actually can't, there's no place to go from here, because I desire someone that's willing to go all in, right? And I think oftentimes we think we're going all in, but we're not. And ladies, I think many of you, I'm not speaking for you, but I've spoken with many women that haven't gone all in, and it's actually hurt them more. And so I shared with this friend of mine, I said, oh man, that guy's in for a world of hurt, because it actually hurts more to not fully go all in, to give it all you've got. And, he's discovering that right now. But what she did was she got really vulnerable. She shared her heart. She shared that, it made her really sad, and that she hoped that it would be different. Now, what a high value man really values, and I hope that all you ladies hear this, and I'm speaking slow so that you get it, is that she honored herself and said, I gotta go. This is gonna hurt like hell. And I gotta walk away because I desire a partnership that is all in, because I'm not going to pay for your past any longer. So I want you guys to hear that. Vulnerability wins. And feel free to ask me any clarity questions. I'll get into this deeper in a moment. And the fact that she's honoring two things. One, she's not going to pay for his past. She's not going to pay for what I call the ghosts of girlfriends past, or, you know, and how many men have you had pay for your past relationships? You know, I can't tell you how many women that I've talked to that, you know, 4 or 5 men or their couple of their ex-husbands are paying, or the current person that they're with that could be amazing. And he may not be, because there's a pretty good chance based on from the ages of 0 to 5 years old in how we, that's how we typically, well, it's not typically, it's how we learn how we show up and choose relationships. So chances are, unless you've had a pattern interrupting, you've learned how to change, rewire your brain in the way that you choose partnership, chances are you're actually picking the same person in a different body, you know, in a different body. And if you could resonate with that, I would love thumbs up, hearts, anything. Or you're recreating that relationship and take responsibility for it based on the way that you're showing up. So the way to create a closer connection, and I'm here to tell you, it's, you may lose that person, right? Vulnerability wins every single time, because how many times have you walked away from a situation where you didn't actually share your heart? And what I mean by sharing your heart, let me give you an example, is, and I will in a second, but is how you feel. Okay, so let's just say you're, you know, you're getting closer to someone, and you know, you're in the dating phase and you're moving closer, and he calls you and you say, gosh, you know, I really missed you today. That's vulnerability, right? I really love hearing your voice. It makes me happy. And a man loves, and I say this all the time, you guys, a man loves to make a woman happy. And if he feels like he's winning with you, and there's much more to this, what happens is there's this, it's like this thing that opens up between you, and he can feel safe to come closer. Because, you know, as fearful as you may be, right? Saved by the Bell, guys. As fearful as you may be, he is fearful too. My son just got here, you guys. Hold, please. Sorry, Facebook. This is important now.
There you are. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi. You're home. Do you want to say hi to Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, say hi to Instagram. Say hi, Instagram. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm going to finish this live, okay, Max? Okay, so that's real life. Yes. So, at any rate, I hope this helps you in the vulnerability. And sometimes we can, you know, we can be upset about, well, how he's not showing up, or if he didn't do this after the first few dates. I mean, we can, you know, those are separate, specific circumstances, you guys, that actually pop up based on you know, even where this person is at. Be quiet. Where this person is at, or the other person is at. So sorry for the interruption there, but my point is that finding ways to be vulnerable, finding ways to express your true feelings. I think a lot of times we feel like vulnerability needs to be earned, so we'll shut down and show up a certain way that is actually masculine, and it doesn't open your heart to truly receiving love and partnership. So I hope this helps you guys. Please feel free to post any questions, direct message me as well. So if you have any dating, relationship, any sort of questions. Yes, you can have chick chick. If you have any sort of question for me, I would love to hear from you. I'm here. I'm doing, during the Summer of Love series, my goal is to be really generous and to help you and support you in really creating the connection that you deeply desire. So reach out to me. I would love to hear from you either on Instagram, Facebook. I am the one that answers all of these responses. And thank you so much for our conversation today. I'm going to continue this on our next live because this is really important. And I'm going to get in the history of this and why we're having such a disconnect around partnerships, so that we can actually bridge that gap, because my vision is to heal and bring love, joy, and peace into relationships in this world. And I believe that it's possible. Thank you. Sending love. Bye.